St. Patrick's Day, or the Feast of St. Patrick Irish, Len Achail Padrig, lit. The day of the Festival of Patrick is a religious and cultural holiday held on 17 March, the traditional death date of St. Patrick c. 385 c. 461, the foremost patron saint of Ireland. St. Patrick's Day was made an official Christian feast day in the early 17th century and is observed by the Catholic Church, the Anglican Communion, especially the Church of Ireland, the Eastern Orthodox Church, and the Lutheran Church. The day commemorates St. Patrick and the arrival of Christianity in Ireland, and, by extension, celebrates the heritage and culture of the Irish in general. Celebrations generally involve public parades and festivals, Síle, and the wearing of green attire or shamrocks. Christians who belong to liturgical denominations also attend church services, and historically the Lenten restrictions on eating and drinking alcohol were lifted for the day, which has encouraged and propagated the holiday's tradition of alcohol consumption. St. Patrick's Day is a public holiday in the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, the Canadian province of Newfoundland and Labrador for provincial government employees, and the British Overseas Territory of Montserrat. It is also widely celebrated in the United Kingdom, Canada, United States, Argentina, Australia, South Africa, and New Zealand, especially amongst Irish diaspora. St. Patrick's Day is celebrated in more countries than any other national festival. Modern celebrations have been greatly influenced by those of the Irish diaspora, particularly those that developed in North America. However, there has been criticism of St. Patrick's Day celebrations for having become too commercialized and for fostering negative stereotypes of the Irish people. St. Patrick edit. Main article, St. Patrick. St. Patrick was a 5th century Romano-British Christian missionary and bishop in Ireland. Much of what is known about St. Patrick comes from the Declaration, which was allegedly written by Patrick himself. It is believed that he was born in Roman Britain in the 4th century, into a wealthy Romano-British family. His father was a deacon and his grandfather was a priest in the Christian church. According to the Declaration, at the age of 16, he was kidnapped by Irish raiders and taken as a slave to Gaelic Ireland. It says that he spent 6 years there working as a shepherd and that during this time he found God. The Declaration says that God told Patrick to flee to the coast, where a ship would be waiting to take him home. After making his way home, Patrick went on to become a priest. According to tradition, Patrick returned to Ireland to convert the pagan Irish to Christianity. The Declaration says that he spent many years evangelizing in the northern half of Ireland and converted thousands. Patrick's efforts were eventually turned into an allegory in which he drove snakes out of Ireland, despite the fact that snakes were not known to inhabit the region. The snakes all migrated to the USA, Australia, and Canada, where they are found to this day. Tradition holds that he died on 17 March and was buried at Downpatrick. Over the following centuries, many legends grew up around Patrick and he became Ireland's foremost saint. Celebration and traditions edit. Traditional St. Patrick's Day badges from the early 20th century, Museum of Country Life in County Mayo. According to legend, St. Patrick used the three-leaved shamrock to explain the Holy Trinity to Irish pagans. Today's St. Patrick's Day celebrations have been greatly influenced by those that developed among the Irish diaspora, especially in North America. Until the late 20th century, St. Patrick's Day was often a bigger celebration among the diaspora than it was in Ireland. Celebrations generally involve public parades and festivals, Irish traditional music sessions Síle, and the wearing of green attire or shamrocks. There are also formal gatherings such as banquets and dances, although these were more common in the past. St. Patrick's Day parades began in North America in the 18th century but did not spread to Ireland until the 20th century. The participants generally include marching bands, the military, fire brigades, cultural organizations, charitable organizations, voluntary associations, youth groups, fraternities, and so on. However, over time, many of the parades have become more akin to a carnival. More effort is made to use the Irish language, especially in Ireland, where one march to St. Patrick's Day on 17 March is Síce ná Gaeilge Irish Language Week. Since 2010, famous landmarks have been lit up in green on St. Patrick's Day as part of Tourism Ireland's Global Greening Initiative or Going Green for St. Patrick's Day. The Sydney Opera House and the Sky Tower in Auckland were the first landmarks to participate, and since then over 300 landmarks in 50 countries across the globe have gone green for St. Patrick's Day. Christians may also attend church services, and the Lenten restrictions on eating and drinking alcohol are lifted for the day. Perhaps because of this, drinking alcohol, particularly Irish whiskey, beer, or cider, has become an integral part of the celebrations. The St. Patrick's Day custom of drowning the shamrock or wetting the shamrock was historically popular. At the end of the celebrations, especially in Ireland, a shamrock is put into the bottom of a cup, which is then filled with whiskey, beer, or cider. It is then drunk as a toast to St. Patrick, Ireland, or those present. The shamrock would either be swallowed with the drink or taken out and tossed over the shoulder for good luck. Irish government ministers travel abroad on official visits to various countries around St. Patrick's Day to promote Ireland. Wearing green and shamrocks edit. A St. Patrick's Day greeting card from 1907. On St. Patrick's Day, it is customary to wear shamrocks, green clothing or green accessories. St. Patrick is said to have used the shamrock, a three-leaved plant, to explain the Holy Trinity to the pagan Irish. This story first appears in writing in 1726, though it may be older. In pagan Ireland, 3 was a significant number and the Irish had many triple deities, which may have aided St. Patrick in his evangelization efforts. Roger Hamann writes, "We can perhaps see St. Patrick drawing upon the visual concept of the Triskel when he uses the shamrock to explain the Trinity." Patricia Monaghan says there is no evidence the shamrock was sacred to the pagan Irish. Jack Santino speculates that it may have represented the regenerative powers of nature, and was recast in a Christian context. Icons of St. Patrick often depict the saint with a cross in one hand and a sprig of shamrocks in the other. The first association of the color green with Ireland is from a legend in the 11th century Leber Gabbalat in the Book of the Taking of Ireland. It tells of Goidel Glas Goidel the Green, the eponymous ancestor of the Gaels and creator of the Goidelic languages Irish, Scottish Gaelic, Manx. Goidel is bitten by a venomous snake but saved from death by Moses placing his staff on the snakebite, leaving him with a green mark. His descendants settle in Ireland, a land free of snakes. One of the first, Ith, visits Ireland after climbing the Tower of Hercules and being captivated by the sight of a beautiful green island in the distance. The color green was further associated with Ireland from the 1640s, when the green harp flag was used by the Irish Catholic Confederation. Later, James Connolly described this flag as representing the sacred emblem of Ireland's unconquered soul. Green ribbons and shamrocks have been worn on St. Patrick's Day since at least the 1680s. Since then, the color green and its association with St. Patrick's Day have grown. The Friendly Brothers of St. Patrick, an Irish fraternity founded in about 1750, adopted green as its color. The Order of St. Patrick, an Anglo-Irish chivalric order founded in 1783, instead adopted blue as its color, which led to blue being associated with St. Patrick. In the 1790s, the color green was adopted by the United Irishmen. This was a republican organization founded mostly by Protestants but with many Catholic members who launched a rebellion in 1798 against British rule. Ireland was first called the Emerald Isle, and when Erin first rose 1795, a poem by a co-founder of the United Irishmen, William Drennan, which stresses the historical importance of green to the Irish. The phrase "wearing of the green" comes from a song of the same name about United Irishmen being persecuted for wearing green. The flags of the 1916 Easter Rising featured green, such as the Starry Plough banner and the proclamation flag of the Irish Republic. When the Irish Free State was founded in 1922, the government ordered all post boxes be painted green, with the slogan "Green Paint for a Green People." In 1924, the government introduced a green Irish passport. The wearing of St. Patrick's Day cross was also a popular custom in Ireland until the early 20th century. These were a Celtic Christian cross made of paper that was covered with silk or ribbon of different colors, and a bunch or rosette of green silk in the center. Ireland edit. A St. Patrick's Day parade in Dublin. Dublin's General Post Office and the spire on O'Connell Street on St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Feast Day, as a kind of national day, was already being celebrated by the Irish in Europe in the 9th and 10th centuries. St. Patrick's Feast Day was finally placed on the liturgical calendar of the Catholic Church in the early 1600s, due to the influence of Waterford-born Franciscan scholar Luke Wadding. St. Patrick's Day thus became a holy day of obligation for Catholics in Ireland. It is also a feast day in the Church of Ireland, part of the Anglican Communion. The church calendar avoids the observance of saints' feasts during certain solemnities, moving the saint's day to a time outside those periods. St. Patrick's Day is occasionally affected by this requirement, when 17 March falls during Holy Week. This happened in 1940, when St. Patrick's Day was officially observed on 3 April to avoid it coinciding with Palm Sunday, and again in 2008, where it was officially observed on 15 March. St. Patrick's Day will not fall within Holy Week again until 2160. However, the popular festivities may still be held on 17 March or on a weekend near to the feast day. In 1903, St. Patrick's Day became an official public holiday in Ireland due to the Bank Holiday Ireland Act 1903, an act of the United Kingdom Parliament introduced by Irish MP James O'Mara. The first St. Patrick's Day parade in Ireland was held in Waterford in 1903, hundreds of years after the first parade in North America. The week of St. Patrick's Day 1903 had been declared Irish Language Week by the Gaelic League, and in Waterford they opted to have a procession on Sunday 15 March. The procession comprised the mayor and members of Waterford Corporation, the Trades Hall, the various trade unions and bands who included the Beraccent Band and the Thomas Francis Meeter Band. The parade began at the premises of the Gaelic League in George's St. and finished in the People's Park, where the public were addressed by the mayor and other dignitaries. On Tuesday 17 March, most Waterford businesses, including public houses, were closed and marching bands paraded as they had 2 days previously. On St. Patrick's Day 1916, the Irish Volunteers, an Irish nationalist paramilitary organization, held parades throughout Ireland. The authorities recorded 38 St. Patrick's Day parades, involving 6,000 marchers, almost half of whom were reported to be armed. The following month, the Irish Volunteers launched the Easter Rising against British rule. This marked the beginning of the Irish Revolutionary period and led to the Irish War of Independence and Civil War. During this time, St. Patrick's Day celebrations in Ireland were muted, although the day was sometimes chosen to hold large political rallies. The celebrations remained low-key after the creation of the Irish Free State. The only state-organized observance was a military procession and trooping of the colours, and an Irish language mass attended by government ministers. In 1927, the Irish Free State government banned the selling of alcohol on St. Patrick's Day, although it remained legal in Northern Ireland. The ban was not repealed until 1961. The first official, state-sponsored St. Patrick's Day parade in Dublin took place in 1931. Public St. Patrick's Day festivities in Ireland have been cancelled 3 times, all for public health reasons. In 2001, celebrations were postponed to May due to the foot and mouth outbreak, while in 2020 and 2021 they were cancelled outright due to the COVID-19 pandemic. A St. Patrick's Day Christian procession in Downpatrick, where St. Patrick is said to be buried. In Northern Ireland, the celebration of St. Patrick's Day was affected by sectarian divisions. A majority of the population were Protestant Ulster Unionists who saw themselves primarily as British, while a substantial minority were Catholic Irish nationalists who saw themselves primarily as Irish. Although it was a public holiday, Northern Ireland's Unionist government did not officially observe St. Patrick's Day. During the conflict known as the Troubles late 1960s, late 1990s, public St. Patrick's Day celebrations were rare and tended to be associated with the Catholic community. In 1976, Loyalists detonated a car bomb outside a pub crowded with Catholics celebrating St. Patrick's Day in Dungannon. 4 civilians were killed and many injured. However, some Protestant Unionists attempted to reclaim the festival, and in 1985 the Orange Order held its own St. Patrick's Day parade. Since the end of the conflict in 1998, there have been cross-community St. Patrick's Day parades in towns throughout Northern Ireland, which have attracted thousands of spectators. In the mid-1990s, the government of the Republic of Ireland began a campaign to use St. Patrick's Day to showcase Ireland and its culture. The government set up a group called St. Patrick's Festival, with the aims of creating a world-class national festival and to project, internationally, an accurate image of Ireland as a creative, professional and sophisticated country with wide appeal. The first St. Patrick's Festival was held on 17 March 1996. In 1997, it became a 3-day event, and by 2006, the festival was 5 days long. More than 675,000 people attended the 2009 parade, and that year's festival saw almost 1 million visitors, who took part in festivities that included concerts, outdoor theater performances, and fireworks. From 2006 to 2012, the Skyfest formed the centerpiece of the St. Patrick's Festival. The week around St. Patrick's Day is Síocháin na Gaeilge Irish Language Week, when more Irish language events are held and there is more effort to use the language. Christian leaders in Ireland have expressed concern about the secularization of St. Patrick's Day. In the Word magazine's March 2007 issue, Fr. Vincent Toomey wrote, "It is time to reclaim St. Patrick's Day as a church festival." He questioned the need for mindless alcohol-fueled revelry and concluded that it is time to bring the piety and the fun together. One of the biggest celebrations outside the cities is in Downpatrick, County Down, where St. Patrick is said to be buried. The shortest St. Patrick's Day parade in the world formerly took place in Dripsey, County Cork. The parade lasted just 23.4 meters and traveled between the village's two pubs. The tradition began in 1999, but ended after 5 years when one of the pubs closed.